What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? It's your guy Q, the movie collector, here again, back with another 4K video review. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about a killer doll turned heroine. Um, and she's not really the most infamous killer doll. I mean, especially when you think of it from a perspective that the first movie was a horror eccentric movie. I mean, it was a horror film. I mean, I'll give it that. But they decided to do a sequel. And on today's review, we're going to be talking about Megan 2.0. And as you guys can see here, I've got the steelbook. So I'll let you guys take a good look at that. There's the back of it there. So yeah, Megan 2.0. So if you haven't seen the first movie, spoiler alert, the movie starts off, and the first movie is pretty much about an aunt and her niece. And basically the niece's parents dies in a car wreck at the very beginning of the first movie. And the aunt is pretty much taking care of her, basically becoming her legal guardian. And her aunt happens to be um, a creator of some AI technology that they happen to put inside of a doll and make her pretty much kind of like a nanny, if you will. And she used this technology to actually, use it on her niece as a test guinea pig subject for his technology. Well, as you know, with AI, and if you've ever watched the Terminator movies, which I don't know why you haven't at this point, AI pretty much goes against control most of the time. Hence, right now we're relying on AI in a host of different activities. But anywho, so then Megan, which is the doll that she created in the first movie, goes on a killing spree just to protect Denise. And so Megan ends up meeting her demise at the end of the movie. Well, the second movie, it picks up kind of where the first movie left off at, except you've got Gemma, which that's the name of the aunt, and she's played by Allison Williams. You got Gemma, who's basically going to court over the things the doll did, basically killing all of those people and the technology that her and her team created. She's going to court to basically fight it. And what comes about it is she's basically teaching people self-awareness, don't rely on computers, etc. And while her niece is still growing up, which is played by, what was her name? Violet McGraw, who plays as Katie. And her niece has gotten a little bit older. Her niece has basically learned to kick ass for the most part. There's a lot of Steven Seagal references in this movie. If you watch it, you'll definitely understand. But at the very beginning of the sequel, pretty much, there's another test AI robot that's going through and basically doing secret operatives, and they come to find out that this AI robot that they're hoping that's going to help the government out ends up turning on them and just goes on a wild killing spree. Well, that leads down to where the FBI pretty much tracks down Gemma. They ask for her help. Gemma denies it. And lo and behold, when the FBI leaves the house, Gemma discovers that Megan's programming is still very much alive and is pretty much operating the entire house her and Katie live in. And so they go about trying to figure out what's going on with this new AI robot, and they basically getting some stuff. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, just I know I've spoken enough about it. Now, is this a good watch? I say this to people who loved the first one. The first one was definitely a horror film. The second one is not horror at all. just pretty much from all the trailers you may have seen, if you've gone to the movies to see it, if you know, you know, this is not a horror film. It's not a horror film even in the slightest. It's kind of like the first movie was a horror film. The second movie was pretty much enjoyable action, if you will. And I only say enjoyable action as if you fell in love with the characters in the first movie, which I did. I fell in love with the characters in the second one. Um, if you're a horror fan coming from that first movie, I know I keep going off track. If you're a horror fan coming from that first movie, you're probably not going to like the sequel. I'll just straight up say it. Now, if you love the characters, you will love the second film. I found myself enjoying this second film. I can't speak for everyone else, but that's just my honest opinion. I enjoyed this film because, like I said, I like the characters. But it was really cool to see um, the upgrades Megan gets in the second film. And she becomes more mature, if you will. And I'm not talking about mature in the sense of like, you know, sexuality or anything like that, but I'm saying as far as like thinking, she's become more mature. And it still shows she's still crazy about Katie more than ever before, but she also respects Gemma, which you will find that out if you watch this film. Now, again, I recommend this to anybody that's a fan of this franchise. This is a great entertaining film. It's a great popcorn flick and all the above. Now, what you get with this release, and I'll show you here before I go over it, that's pretty much everything that's included on the disc. What you get here is you get the theatrical cut as well as the unrated. I went straight for the unrated, regardless if this was my first time watching it, because again, I don't have to continue to be the dead horse. I don't go to the movies, but yeah, you get a special feature called Total Upgrade, Making Megan 2.0. I thought that was a really great featurette. They talk about things that they've advanced as far as with making animatronics and the CGI and stuff. Things they've done a lot better in this film that they couldn't do in the first one. And then there's Druid DNA, The Art of Slaying, Scene Breakdown, Embrace AI Convention, which that last part pretty much talks about the convention scene. I think that happens almost past the midpoint of the film, which I thought these were fantastic special features. So good job, Universal. And I will, and this is going back to my thoughts of the film. I will go on to say that there's not a lot of great things that Blumhouse has actually done, but this is one of the things I thought that, you know, this is a good thing they've done. Can't speak for the rest of the other stuff they've done, but you also you got your code here. And then you also got your 4K disc, and you also got your Blu-ray in here too. This is a combo pack. But what did I think of the transfer? I mean, honestly, it looked good. I mean, you can't expect anything different out of a new film. I thought everything looked great. The colors, the Dolby Vision HDR. I thought everything looked good. It looked really good for a modern film. And it, especially during that convention scene where it's more dark, you got all these neon lights and things all over the area. It looked really great. Now the sound, which is Dolby Atmos, thought the sound sounded phenomenal. I thought the sound was excellent. And it's, like I said, it's more of an action-driven movie that's going around. So you got more things going on with the atmospheric. So I will say that much. But yeah, that does it for the review of Megan 2.0. And again, they do have this available as a steelbook. There's also a standard edition as well as a Blu-ray edition. And it maybe even be a DVD. I don't know, but I didn't even look into it. But yeah, hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe below. As you guys know, we have finally crossed over the 300 mark. So thank you guys so much for that. You don't know how much I appreciate you guys for that and all the support you guys been giving me. But here's many more reviews coming up in the future. So Yeah, and a lot of other great things. But until next time, people, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.